Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nur Balkis binti Abdul Aziz, and today I will be presenting a workplace issue based on a short clip from the movie The Intern, which was released in 2015.
For the data on customer purchase patterns. Let Ben take a look at that too. Actually, let Ben take a look at that first.
Okay.
Don't worry, Becky, backup's good. Ping me when Cameron gets in.
The clip is called Don't Worry Becky, and it features two characters, Ben, a 70-year-old intern, and Becky, a young assistant who works for the CEO of the company. The main issue I'll be focusing on is the generational gap in the workplace and how employees from different age groups try to adapt to each other. In this short scene, we see Becky feeling extremely frustrated. She complains that she works 14 hours a day and still doesn't get noticed by her boss. She's tired, emotional, and clearly overwhelmed. Ben, the older intern, listens to her without interrupting. He doesn't make fun of her or criticize her. Instead, he offers kind and calm support and says things like "Don't worry, Becky," and reminds her that she's doing a good job. He even takes time to help her out with an important task by reporting something to their boss. This scene might seem simple, but it actually shows a very real issue that happens in many workplaces today. The first issue we see is the generational gap. Ben and Becky are from very different generations. Ben is in his 70s, retired, and full of old school wisdom. Becky is young, ambitious, and part of the modern, fast-paced office environment. This gap in age can lead to misunderstandings. For example, older workers might see younger employees as emotional or too fast. Meanwhile, younger workers might see older employees as too slow or out of touch. But this scene shows that age doesn't always create conflict, but it can also create balance. Ben's calm and steady attitude helps Becky, who is overwhelmed and anxious. This shows that when different generations work together with respect, they can actually support each other. The second issue is adaptation, how people adjust to changes at work. Ben is an older man working as an intern in a technology startup. That's not something you see every day. He has to adapt to a fast-moving younger environment. But instead of acting proud or old-fashioned, he stays humble and willing to learn. At the same time, Becky also has to adapt. She learns that just because someone is older doesn't mean they can't contribute. In fact, Ben ends up being someone she can talk to, someone who understands her feelings. This is a great example of mutual adaptation. It's not just about older workers trying to catch up, but it's also about younger workers learning to appreciate experience and emotional maturity. Another big issue we see in the clip is the lack of emotional support in the workplace. Becky is not lazy. She's tired and upset because she feels ignored. She puts in long hours and still feels like she's not being seen. Ben doesn't try to fix everything. He just listens, speaks kindly, and supports her in small ways. And that is something many people miss in real life. Someone to listen without judging. This reminds us that in any workplace, emotional support matters. It makes people feel safe, valued, and less alone. Even though I haven't experienced office life yet, we all know stories like this. We have parents, uncles, or older relatives who are still working, and some of them have to deal with younger bosses or new technology. And we can imagine how it might feel to enter a company full of people much older than us. There may be doubts or fears. Will they listen to me? Will I fit in, or do I belong here? But this movie scene teaches that if both sides are willing to be patient, they can learn from each other. Age is not a barrier, but it's actually a strength if we respect one another. So, how can workplaces improve this situation? First, companies can create mentorship programs. That means pairing young workers with older, more experienced ones. Both sides can learn from each other. The young ones can share tech skills, while the other ones can share life experience. Second, we need to have open communication. People should feel comfortable talking to each other, no matter their age. This can help reduce misunderstandings. Third, give training to everyone, not just young people. Some companies think older workers can't learn new systems, but that's not true. They just need time and support. Lastly, it's important to show appreciation. Many workers, like Becky in the clip, she just want to be noticed and appreciated. When someone does a good job, say thank you. A little recognition can make a big difference. One more thing to highlight is mental health. Becky's breakdown is not just about stress, but it's about feeling invisible and unappreciated. And that's something a lot of people go through, especially young workers who are new and trying to prove themselves. Ben doesn't solve her problems, but his support makes a big emotional difference. That kind of support from coworkers, bosses, or even interns is what makes a workplace human. Mental health is often overlooked in professional settings, but scenes like this remind us how important it is to create a safe, understanding environment for everyone. To sum up, the scene from the intern shows how two very different people from two different generations can work together and help each other. It reminds us that generational gaps don't have to be negative. Older employees still have a lot to offer, and emotional support is just as important as skills. Workplaces should encourage mutual respect and open communication. At the end of the day, everyone wants to feel seen, heard, and valued, no matter their age. Thank you so much for listening. That's the end of my presentation.